Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas being joined with the Fight Up team. We are live right now. Welcome to the Fight Up TV live chat. Welcome one, welcome all. Today is June 8th, 2021. Oh my gosh. Me and Yair were in Miami. Bro, I'm tired. I'm still tired.
Yeah, I got home yesterday and dude, I slept all day and when I couldn't even handle it, I went back to sleep. Like I just didn't do a lot yesterday. I slept, ate, and went back to sleep. I was just tired, but it was great. It was good. It was a busy week. That's why there was just a lot that we did, a lot that we covered.
Ate and went back to sleep.
Oh, whoa, we're hearing an echo there. Not sure what's going on there. Fix the echo. But all right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and recap the fight that happened over the weekend. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, along with the undercard fights, and just overall give you guys a report of how it was being there live, covering the fight in person. But because I know, Marcus, you're a fan of the sport. You're like a super fan. So I've been wanting to know, and all you guys here on the chat, go ahead and tell us what you thought about the exhibition, your honest opinion, your honest thoughts, just overall, if you were happy with it, if you weren't happy with it, did you think overall it was worth the money that you spent, if you ordered it or not? I'm curious to see the reception from not only boxing fans, but just like normal fans and normal people watching it, if they really like this show. Marcus, I know you're a boxing diehard, bro. Let me know, what did you make overall of the event?
Bro, first off, it was difficult just as a fan ordering the pay-per-view. Let's start there and work your way back. I am a victim of Showtime, homie. Right now, I'm trying to work on getting my refund.
Oh, wait. So the stream crashed on you too?
Yeah, I was part of the Showtime crash. I had to watch the fight after the fact. I had to do a watch party on another channel and then go back and watch the fight later. It was a disaster, man.
Marcos, I forgot to tell you that it was trending on Twitter. A lot of people said that they could not watch it because it was down. The server, there was a lot of people. It was trending on Twitter that it said, hey, it's down. The servers are down. So nobody could watch it. It was rarely anybody got to watch it.
Huh. Okay. That's
didn't
weird.
Come up the whole fight. Let me tell you too. It didn't come up the whole entire card. It didn't come up at all. I got as close to seeing Logan Paul and Mayweather standing together on like the poster. But other than that, never got to watch it live, bro. I listened live, but I didn't get to watch it. I felt like I was in the 20s, man. I was listening.
Like on the radio?
Yeah, I was listening, man. Like I was listening to the Brown Bomber or something like that, dude. But not as exciting. It didn't sound as exciting, let me tell you, man.
You're listening like Howard Cosell calling the fights.
You know, and then when we go back to the analysis of the actual bout, right? And I mean, first off, let's just say that this isn't the boxing that you're used to. This isn't boxing. That wasn't boxing. That wasn't the guys that are carrying titles. This is something that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is doing on his own this here with the big weight difference and everything, man. It was just, I think honestly he bit off a little bit more than he can chew with the size difference.
Wait. Overall, though, what did you think of as a boxing fan when you went ahead and saw it again? What did you think? Like, were you happy with it? Like, did you feel embarrassed? Like, did you feel like, what were your like honest thoughts?
Man, I feel like I'm still processing it. I think, man, it was strange to watch. It was strange to watch because number one, you've never seen Floyd in there with a guy that's a lot bigger than him. I think the size ate away at a lot of what we perceived as Mayweather's boxing skills, let alone the age. I mean, we got to be frank and truthful that Floyd Mayweather is a grandpa, 44 years old, like you said. He came out to have a little fun with an exhibition. I think his name carries so much weight, and you expect such a performance. this just wasn't that, to be honest. It wasn't a great performance, man. And if he's going to continue to do exhibitions, it's got to be a person of a reasonable size, man. It wasn't worth my 50, man.
No.
It wasn't worth my 50. I need my money back, Showtime.
Well, you're getting your money back, hopefully,
Not
right?
now, but right now.
I wonder if that took away from a lot of the pay-per-view buys, that crash, because I know a similar crash happened at the beginning of Mayweather versus McGregor. I remember we were seated there ringside, and it's funny, the Showtime PR people like came running to us, and they're like, please tell everybody on Twitter that we're working on this issue. We're going to get it back up. They're going to be able to order the pay-per-view, but just please let everybody know. We didn't get anything like that similarly there, but it could be because it was freaking raining on and off over there in the arena.
There's that raining in the fight where guys are slipping while they're trying to throw punches and stuff, man. How irresponsible and dangerous. You knew that you were in Florida. There should have been something over the ring that would mitigate the rain, or, you know, just, I know that we want the glitz and the glam, but to be honest, man, all it took was a guy to get a bad shot or to slip on rain. I mean, it's hard enough having spit and sweat on the ring. Rain on the canvas, come on, man.
So yeah, me and Yair were in Miami the whole week. It was a crazy freaking week, and to give some perspective for you guys on just overall how it was to be there at the event and cover this event, all the events that they had. Like, it was a lot of freaking work. It's humid as hell in freaking Miami. Oh my God. They had us running around everywhere. I learned that the Miami, and this is kind of sad actually, bro. The Fifth Street Gym in Miami, the place, the name obviously, yes, is synonymous to that, but it's not that gym anymore. That original location is something else, and the Fifth Street Gym in Miami is in a different location now. But someone told me it's like an influencer gym now, like not even like real boxers and pros train over there. So that like really freaking tripped me the F out. When they told me that, they're like, yeah, man, like Instagram models just go in and work out, and like little TikTokers. And I was like, what? Wow. This, the famous Fifth Street Gym, you know? The fight was weird in a multiple array of reasons. One, it's a football stadium, a lot of freaking seats, but it wasn't sold out. And that was kind of weird to be at an event and seeing so many open seats, given, you know, it's Floyd versus Logan. It was a big trending thing overall. Both are extremely popular, but I think the novelty of it, I don't know. I think real boxing fans knew that it wasn't going to be something that would cater to them or they would be entertained to as well. But it was kind of odd to see that. And it made me wonder how well it was going to sell on pay-per-view. And like we did great numbers on YouTube, but that's only one indicator of how an event is going to do. So I'm curious to see, because I had even people reach out to me on from both teams, from Mayweather's team, other people from Showtime, asking me like, hey, you know, because usually we could tell like how well an event is trending and how well it's going to do. And I'm like, dude, like, this one's freaking weird. Like this one's, because there's so many platforms push them that I think the numbers were skewed a little bit in terms of what pay-per-view buys it was going to go ahead and do. So it remains to be seen. I saw a preliminary number like 600,000. I think it's going to get closer to like 1 million given like the digital buys. But with you telling me that it crashed, you know, who knows? That might be
my buy. Don't count my buy, mate. Don't count my buy, bro. I didn't get nothing.
But, you know, other than that, like it was cool. You know, a lot of celebrities there. The event, like overall, it was cool to. I'll admit, it was cool to see Floyd again. And when Jimmy announced his name, I gave a smile, because it had been a long time since I've heard Jimmy announce Floyd, and I think that for me, in a weird way, made it worth me going over there, because I got to hear him announce him like that and see him in a fight, regardless of how well he did or how he looked, to be able to see him and hear Jimmy announce that, it made me smile. To me, that was a very cool thing to go and experience again, because the last Floyd fight I had been to was I believe the McGregor one, and then even before that, the Berto one. We all thought the Berto one was going to be the last one that he was going to do.
What is that? A barbecue mat or something?
No, that's the towel that we had to go ahead and put over our heads because it was raining on and off, on and off, on and off the whole freaking time there. Before we get to the actual main event, because obviously the title of this live is why Floyd couldn't knock out Logan Paul. I have my reasonings as to why, and I'll get into that. But I do want to give a big ups to Luis Cuba Arias, who fought Jarrett Hurd in a very entertaining back and forth fight. That freaking dude fought his freaking heart out against a guy who's naturally bigger than him, who, I call Jarrett Hurd the Terminator, because he gets hit with everything and he keeps coming forward and keep walking towards you. And he was able to take everything that Hurd was throwing at him and dish it right back and land more. So I think it was a very impressive performance from Luis Arias. It showed a lot of freaking heart in that fight. And I remember listening to Leonard Ellerby in interviews a few weeks back. And when a promoter or a trainer is selling a fight, and when there's like conviction there, and he had conviction in there, like you could like genuinely tell, like he something in him was telling him, like, dude, like Luis is gonna win this fight. And he went ahead and had a hell of a performance against Jarrett Hurd. The only thing that made me wonder is, obviously the death of Jarrett Hurd's father.
Yeah.
You got to think about that if it affected him. We saw Tony Harrison go ahead and fight against Bryant Perella a few months back, and Tony Harrison lost his father as well, and he had his father with him for, I want to say, just about all of his fights. And I know Jarrett Hurd had changed, trainers even before his father passed away, but his father was an important part of him in his career. And I just kind of left wondering how similar those situations were, and if that affected him at all in the fight in terms of his mental game coming into it. Because with Hurd, there's one thing that you're going to get out of him. It's going to be an action fight. He tends to be in very great fights. He walks forward, doesn't have much defense. It's like his offense is his defense. His ability to take your punishment, and because he's so much bigger, he's able to take it, walk you down and break you down and drown you by rounds 10, 11, and 12.
Right.
He wasn't the same. Yeah, he wasn't the same. It seems like he's stuck in between styles, or like he doesn't want to be what he was before, which what he was known for, because he doesn't want to get hit like that, which is a good thing. He wants to have a long career. He's wanting to box more. I know his plan was to box more, but at some point, man, like it's like he's in between styles. And you compound, the loss of his father. Like I don't know. I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm only speculating, but I just wonder if the loss of his father and all that stuff that he went through affected him, where he wasn't 100% mentally in this fight, because Arias was more than locked in on this fight, man. He had been grinding. He had been training. He had the best camp that he ever had. Gilbert says, I'm like the only guy that picked Arias to win. Leonard Ellerby told me that a friend of his won like $300,000 betting on Arias. Yeah, $350 freaking $1,000 he bet on Arias. That means he was a plus 1,100. So
was he really, bro?
Yeah, he was
plus
1,100.
Oh my
so I don't know
God.
how much money you got to bet to win 300,000. I don't know if it's like 100,000. But yeah, he
that would have been way more than that.
Yeah, he
like
won big,
G's, bro. Less than that. Good night.
Big up, yeah, Danny. Yeah, I know. Wow, $350,000 he went off at that fight. Arias had some great freaking odds.
Man.
Co-main event. We got that co-main event because Jean Pascal failed 4 freaking doping tests. Yeah. No, not failed. He failed. 4 doping tests, 3 test for steroids and one for EPO, for blood doping. The only statement that Pascal has made has been that he didn't knowingly take all that stuff. But when you get the steroids, it's plausible. If he, I could see a situation where you trust your trainer, they're giving you supplements and you don't ask because you trust your trainer. You trust them and they're giving you stuff. Okay, I guess. There is maybe a glimmer of plausibility there for that. But once you get to the level of EPO, which is blood doping, which is what Lance Armstrong did to, and basically all of cycling, they did all those years. That's next level stuff. Like, you can't do that on your own. You need assistance for that stuff because they're going in with freaking blood packets and doing injections and you're putting blood into your system and everything. It's nuts. And I always thought it was weird seeing Pascal's performances in the other fights. And then all of a sudden, for like the last year and a half, 2 years, he got better and he started looking better. And when he won the title, I was just like, what the hell? Like, this, you're not supposed to get better and stronger as you get older. You're supposed to decline. And with him, he was getting better. And I didn't think he was on something, but I was like, man, this is kind of weird. You're not supposed to get better. Like, he had looked like he was all but done. I think he had lost a fight on an FS1 card that we showed on Fox like 2 years ago. And I remember I spoke to him on the phone and he said if he lost that fight, he was gonna retire. And then he had another fight and he won, and then he won the title. So that's how we ended up with that co-main event. And that co-main event bored the hell out of me. Not Adu Jack's fault. They were scrambling to find a replacement, but that main event bored the hell out of me, man. I couldn't keep my attention. They found whatever guy, like the guy had an undefeated record, but come on, bro. Like, he fought all these guys from Venezuela. Like, what kind of level of boxing do they have in Venezuela? You can find a guy that's like freaking 15-0 from Venezuela. He's fighting all these Venezuelan fighters.
He was he had 40 rounds of experience. He was 15-0, and out of those 15 fights, he had 13 knockouts. Badu had 190 rounds of experience. So 190 rounds of experience compared to the fighter from Venezuela who had 40 rounds of experience. You could definitely tell. So I remember chatting with him on that. He knew it was gonna be easy. Remember when we talked to him, and he knew it was gonna be easy, but you could tell deep down inside of him, he really wanted that fight against Pascal.
Well, yeah, because of the first
avenge that loss.
Well, because of what happened in the first one.
What happened in the first one? Then now he said,
and Badu, I think with hindsight, said like he feels that Pascal was on the ish in that one, but he told us that they didn't do drug testing for that. They didn't do VADA because it was too expensive, and at that point the fight wasn't. I guess it wasn't economically worth it to get VADA testing, because to get VADA testing, and for some of you guys who might be tuning in for the first time or watching us for the first time, like and subscribe. First off, welcome to Fight Hub. But the second off, VADA testing is voluntary. You have to pay for it. These promoters have to pay to get these outside testing services to do 24/7 drug and doping for the fights. You would think it would be an automatic thing, but it's not. If they don't do that, then they just go through the commissions testing, which is a very low, I don't want to say low threshold, but it's not very comprehensive. It's like a piss test and a blood test, which you can get a lot of stuff past those tests when you do them on the commission level. Ziggy C, why he just don't have pop in his power? He has declined as well. Second, he was fighting a 190. Okay, he's referencing the main event. We'll get to the main event right now. Real dude, what's up, bro? It seems these moments of cocktail injection tricks by these doping technicians getting these fighters in trouble. They get addicted to the improved durability, and it hurts their legacies. Not only hurts their legacies, dude, it hurts the sport. You want a clean sport in all sports. If my thing has always been this: if you can't regulate it, just let them all freaking juice up. If they all juice up, and some people have said that, let them all juice up. If they're all on the juice, it's an even playing field because they're all juiced up. Just let them all juiced up then. If you can't go ahead and have consistent testing.
Well, remember what Jonathan Banks said? He said that boxing is the only sport, when we talked to him, boxing is the only sport where the discipline is not even high, that he feels like this is not even fair. Like you have baseball, the players are suspended from 50 to 100 games. Basketball, I don't know. It's happened more in baseball from what I've seen and what I've been following. Basketball, you really don't hear it that much. The NFL, you get suspended a whole year. You lose the entire season. You don't get paid. And then he's like, why doesn't this happen in boxing? Why do the commissions all against it, but none of them talk about it? And that was a good point that he brought up when we talked to him, because he said this sport, I said, what he said, with all due respect, is way more tough than basketball, football, baseball. These guys put all their lives on the line. When somebody gets juiced up, he's like, and it comes out not one, not two, but three.
Oh no, Pascal should be banned for life. He should be banned for life.
And then I asked him, well, Banks, what would you do to clean up this discipline? And he said, well, give me your thoughts. He said, honestly, they can't fight for a title for 2 years, strip them, and they shouldn't even get paid. They should get paid way less for amount for less than 2 years. Like for 2 years, they should have a harsh penalty. But we know in boxing that hurts them a lot. It's not like in football that you get suspended a whole year and you can still come back with that team and it kind of gets erased. Baseball is a long season. Baseball, you have more than 100 games per se around that. You have more than 100 games. And in baseball, and with all due respect to the sport of baseball, it's been so common that you hear more in there that it just become a norm. But now in boxing, that when we hear it, we all get upset, we get disgusted. And I think everybody there at the press conference, Marcos, if you remember, everybody was disgusted just to hear it, because again, it wasn't just one, and it was four. And like how Pascal said, those type of
here's the thing. It's not like they're throwing.
So
it's not like they're throwing footballs. It's not like they're kicking. Well, I don't know. You're a soccer guy. We rarely hear soccer players getting popped for PEDs, but it's not like they're throwing footballs, and not like they're hitting baseballs. They're actually hitting another person, and if you're enhanced, you're able to hit another person a lot more. That could lead to a serious injury and or death. And I think those other leagues, obviously they want to protect the integrity of their brand, but because boxing is such a loose sport that has no national oversight in it whatsoever, I think that's why we see this, because there's not a nothing national overseeing. There's not a national czar overseeing the sport, so there can't be an actual penalty, or at least the commissions can go and do their penalties. New York at times does a good job, and at times you just scratch your head and you're like, what the F? Why are they finding this guy for biting Danny Garcia this much, but they didn't fine freaking Big Baby Miller this much for when he screwed up the Joshua fight? It's inconsistencies, and it's because it's up to the commissions, and there's not a national commission. Now, as to why don't we see more severe punishments? It's because of money. It's because of money. That's why. It's because of money. That's really what it's about. It's because of money. But the people that end up suffering for it are the fighters. Badou Jack lost a chance for the title. He can get another fight, obviously, but that was a big chance for him as well, for him to get back and restart his career. And then us as the viewers, we got cheated out of a good fight, because honestly, that was the fight I was looking most forward to out of all the fights, was that one.
I think that was the linchpin fight of validity for the program, and it just kind of fell through. So, and you know what, on the Pascal situation, you got to look back to a guy like Marcus Brown, who lost his O to Jean Pascal.
Oh man,
you got to go back and
interesting
think about a guy like that.
He'd be interesting to follow up with and be like, "Yo, bro, do you think he's juiced up?"
Absolutely. So maybe we do a vacant title bout with Marcus Brown and Badou Jack for whatever belt that Jean Pascal had, and just put Jean Pascal in the rear view. Maybe a good thing for boxing.
Pascal, like honestly, he should be done with boxing. Like he's had a career, he's won titles, he's had big fights, but this, like it should be a lifetime ban, bro. Like,
you know what, man? I hate to cut you off, bro, but I will go back to what you said earlier about watching Jean Pascal. And I distinctively remember in his last 2 fights, I've been like, oh crap, he finally got the cardio thing figured out. His last 2 or 3 fights, I've been like, dude, he's got the cardio thing figured out. He's going to be super dangerous, because if you ever watch Jean Pascal, super duper dangerous 1 through 6. And then he falls off
after
8 through 6. And then all of a sudden at the last 4, he's slumbering around and not even being able to move properly. Man,
that's always
whatever
been his
that he may have been
Achilles heel.
taking, I'm not the judge and the jury, but goodness gracious, man, his opponents can definitely make a case for him being on something. Definitely go back and watch the fights, bro.
That's
sad.
that's always been his Achilles heel, has been his gas tank. And I always I've always I was gonna get to that.
Doping, right?
But I always equated it because he had so much muscle that his body required so much more oxygen, because he had so much more muscle that he would gas out. And then what's the one thing that EPO is used for? Cardio, conditioning. So you can keep going and going and going and going. Yeah.
That sucks, man. That sucks.
Danny, thank you for the super chat. Everybody go ahead and give us a round of likes, subscribe. If you're watching us for the first time, we're recapping the Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather exhibition. It wasn't a real fight, guys. It was an exhibition. Okay. Floyd was very, very adamant from the very beginning what this was. But we got to go ahead and get to the super chat from Danny because he brings up an interesting point. And then we'll go ahead and transition to the main event. If a fighter kills another fighter in the ring and was discovered to be juicing, can that fighter be prosecuted for murder? That's an interesting thing. I honestly don't know what would happen in that situation. Thank goodness it hasn't happened. We haven't had to deal with a situation like that.
Right.
But I would imagine if they are caught with an illegal substance that helped enhance them, they would more than likely be prosecuted for some sort. I don't even know like the legal charge or anything like that, but I would think that they would be prosecuted for I don't know, manslaughter or something like that.
Because I think with the introduction of a foreign substance like a performance enhancing drug, once the outcome becomes something that is due to an unnatural situation, I'm sure, man, that a legal situation would be to follow without question, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I would think the same with family and stuff like that. You know,
it's just like with the hand wraps. You know what I'm saying? If you got illegal hand wraps and you beat somebody to death with it, I'm sure that you'd be liable if you were caught with.
Yeah, you know what? I think Louis Resto. I think he did end up going to jail. I might be mistaken. I know for sure he was banned from the sport. But if some of you newer fans don't know the story of Louis Resto and Panama Lewis, Louis Resto was caught in his fight, I believe, with Billy Collins back in the 80s with taking the padding out of the gloves. Yes. And then he went and he fought, and Billy Collins was a guy that was on the rise. And because he took the padding out of the gloves, he beat the crap out of the guy, but he's able to inflict so much more damages that just the photos of Collins after the fight were terrible, man. He had these huge black eyes. Yeah, raccoon eyes. He was all swollen. What it did to him was, he entered a deep depression, and he ended up dying as well. He went on a spiral because of that. And Panama Lewis, who I think is still active in boxing, but he's banned. He's not allowed to by
Panama
any commission.
Died, didn't he? Just died.
Did he die?
Didn't he pass away recently?
I don't know, but I know he was banned from everywhere. Like he was still allowed to train fighters, but he wasn't allowed to. No commission would have given him a license to be in a corner, and that was a lifetime ban. And same with Resto. Prada Pierre, Floyd was just sparring someone that has a fan base for millions. We're gonna get to that right now. Johnny says he passed away from COVID, so I didn't know that. I didn't know that Panama Lewis.
Yeah, that's what I
went
thought.
Ahead and passed away. But
I thought he died like in September. Remember that September of 2020, man? There was a lot of good people that died in that.
Yeah.
Over that time. Not saying he was one of the good ones, but
Yeah. If you guys want, I highly recommend the documentary "Assault in the Ring" because that's the story of Louis Resto and Billy Collins. I believe HBO did it. Was it HBO right, or was it Showtime? Do you guys remember?
I think it was HBO. That was one of the last
HBO also.
And HBO did.
Yeah, it is a very excellent documentary. I recommend all you guys to go ahead and watch it.
This is the same trainer that in the later stage, Aaron Pryor, Alexis Arguello Part 1. He says, "Give me that bottle." No, the one I mixed. The one I mixed. And then Aaron Pryor, after drinking what was in the bottle, came out and threw something like 60-something punches to stop Arguello. So, who knows, bro? Just it's crazy.
Yeah, man. He was like a new fighter after that drink.
Yeah, but the second fight he came out and whooped Arguello real bad afterward, though.
Yeah, but you got to think though too. If there's any fishy business,
dude. When you take something, when a fighter gets cheated like that and they take something from him, go back to Cotto, bro. That was the night of my little brother's wedding, dog. And I was bragging so much, man. I was talking smack. He was getting married to a young, pretty Hispanic girl.
Hold on. I was at that point. I was like super Cotto supporter, and that night freaking broke my freaking heart. Man.
Hey, I was just
shocked. I was shocked. I was devastated. I was like, "This is not Cotto. This is."
Go ahead, continue, Marcus. Continue.
Man, it was a heck of a night, bro, because my brother was marrying into a Hispanic family, you know what I'm saying? And they were all pro Margarito in the house. And I was talking some smack, dog. I was running my mouth like a motorbike. I was talking so much smack, dude. And in the first couple rounds, I looked like a genius. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, bro, it was something to watch him break Cotto down and to watch Cotto bleed and the blood coming from his mouth and his nose, and to see him kind of retreating back the way he did. It was really painful, and it was something to watch that get taken from him. His truly was taken from him, bro. And you could just see it broke him down, destroyed him. He was never the same.
No, he wasn't. I think so much was taken from him. I think like his confidence in himself, like his killer instinct got taken away from him, because after that fight, Cotto wasn't the same. He didn't have the same aggressiveness. He didn't have the same killer instinct.
It took a while to get it back.
And even that, when he did
arguably,
when he did start fighting kind of like the way he used to fight, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same relentlessness that he had been known for.
Mm-mm.
So
Margarito in that fight made him decide that wasn't what he wanted to do that night. He tried to bang for a little while, then he tried to outbox, then he tried to counterpunch. But you saw the skill level of a true professional fighter cascading all the way down into defeat, man. It was an amazing fight, but at the same time, bro, I mean, we see here, Prada Pierre says that Cotto was winning that fight, and I'm glad Floyd didn't fight the loaded glove guy, and Mosley did make him pay. It's the honest to God truth, but it doesn't take away from that night with Cotto, man. Just, to hear him.
I think the point that it really hit me, that like anything that was in Cotto, like he just broke him down, was when he took the knee, he just kind of like shook his head and like he spit out blood. Like I think at that moment, that's when I was like, "Oh my God!" Like he broke him. Like it
was hard to watch him retreat. For him, when he went back and he still was looking like a fighter, and he went back and he went down on that knee, and you could just see, man, like everything in his whole heart. Just he was like, "Nah, I'm done, bro. I'm finished."
It's like he took a knee. Like, I can't.
At that point, like he broke his
spirit. My life on the line.
Yeah, it was more like a knee. Like
my life.
This is what's gonna. It's gonna like I'm gonna have to take my pride and swallow it in front of my fans, and I'm just gonna have to swallow my pride, and that's it. And it was just. It was
that
tough.
moment is the moment that he broke him. Like Margarito broke him. Like broke his spirit. Where like he was just like at that point, like it's just like when you break a guy mentally like that, like they're done. They're done. He was done at that, he had been, exchanging with Margarito. I remember he was getting the better of those exchanges too. He was freaking lighting them up.
was like
I
the fight.
remember I was the only guy. I was in a bar full of Mexicans, and me being a Mexican, you know, people were like, "Why the hell are you cheering for Cotto?" And I'm like, "Dude, this guy's a badass fighter. I love this guy."
Boxer, homie.
You know,
A great
that's
fighter.
why I like him. I was the only Mexican cheering for Cotto, man. And every time in those exchanges, I'd be like, "Ah!" And then little by little, I got less and less cheery, more and more quiet. The room got louder and louder, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
And just like, man, you know, we look down in the chat, bro. Like Float Logic says, homie, watching Cotto console his father while he was being battered, homie. This is something that is the other side of your dad's your coach. To watch them cry together.
That was his uncle. His uncle and his dad were in the corner.
Yeah, man. I mean, to watch true family watching him and going, "Hey, bro, this is enough." That was really, really heartbreaking, man. And then for his dad to have that heart attack, you know, a couple months after that, bro, and pass away, man. Just, you know, you feel for him, man. And there's a lot that goes into boxing that us fans just don't see.
That was, yeah. Even now, dude, when I think about it,
I know, bro. It hurts.
Yeah, because there was Cotto before, and then the Cotto after.
Absolutely.
The Cotto after was nothing even close to the Cotto before.
Yeah, man. And if you look, man, and go back, and I hate to rehash and dig up stuff, man, but when we start talking about Margarito, bro, I challenge the fans on YouTube tonight, go back and watch Margarito versus Kermit Cintron, bro. Kermit Cintron was a good fighter. Margarito was hitting Kermit Cintron. When he hit him with that body shot, it sounded like he got hit with a bomb. And the way that he reacted and the way that Margarito was laughing afterward, man, I'm sorry, dude. It brings into question the hand wraps again, bro. It looked like an unnatural punch that he hit him with. He damn near killed the dude.
Yeah, I think
that's all we remember. We talk about Margarito, and that's all you remember. It's just that, and you can't give him any credit for any other fights. You just can't.
He was great. He was talented.
And then you can't give any credit to Pascal for the previous fights. So that's what Badu Jack told us, and he's like, I want to question out his whole career, and it's going to be questioned. You just can't, because it's for illegal substance. So it's just erases the type of fighter you are. It just erases. You're looked at differently, but it's tough.
I think I saw Kermit Cintron when I was very early on doing all this stuff, and I remember I asked him about that, and he said that he believed that that when he had fought him, that there was something fishy about his punch, because he had mentioned that. I was like, dude, I've never been hit by someone like that. Like, what the hell? Like, this makes no freaking sense. Like, he felt that I'm trying to remember. I think he said it was like the equivalent of getting hit by like a bat or something like that. I remember I asked him at the Step Up Center when it was called the Step Up Center. Now it's the Dignity Health and everything. And I remember that. And I remember we asked Margarito. There's a very early video that we did. We asked him, like, what do you make of the Louis Resto situation? And he just completely avoided the question, didn't want to talk about it. And yeah, now in hindsight, honestly, I don't even know if he even knew about Louis Resto, to be honest, because that's the thing that didn't get publicized till like maybe republicized, because it was a big thing back in the 80s, but it got forgotten about, and then they went ahead and republicized it because of the documentary that HBO went ahead and did. Hurricane Hank. Kermit has went on record that he wants to kill Margarito. Don't blame him. Don't blame him, man. Shoot.
Don't blame him either.
Cool, bro.
Yeah. When Cintron said he was going to go and strangle him. Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame him.
The way that fight ended, it was humiliating for Cintron too, bro. The way that he appeared to almost be crying, didn't he? Like, it looked like he was hurt so badly, like he had just got whooped by Thor's hammer, dude. Like, he looked so bad. He wasn't, quote, behaving like a fighter at the end of that bout. Just go back and watch it. It makes you think, and moreover, we can't avoid, that's what is so costly about using PEDs or getting popped for PEDs. That's why it's so big to be accusing people. We can't forget, there's a blemish on Canelo's record because of this. We don't know. We say it's the meat. The bottom line is the test comes out and public opinion follows the test. I mean, it's a slippery
I think they follow their own narrative that they want to believe in, because Canelo's even came on the record that that amount that he had in the system is now legal. Like it's legal. He said the
They
amount
made
is
it legal. That's
0.8.
Well, the thing with Canelo is, you know, regardless of what you think about it, he went ahead and did the hair follicle test, and the hair follicle test was the truth maker in that case.
And it's important to say that.
Yeah, the hair follicle would have found if he was doing that prior or if he had an elevated amount. And he went ahead and did the hair follicle test, and he came out clean, that it was contamination. So I think it's important to note that. You know, all these people say that, but if he was really hiding something, he would have not done the hair follicle test. And if you guys are like, what the hell, what is he talking about, hair follicle test? There's a test that you can use. You grab the hair follicle, and you're able to see if the level, the trace amount that you have in the hair follicle, if it's natural or not, and if you had been having amounts before, they're able to tell with that. So Canelo went ahead and did it, and he passed it. He was fine. So, you know, people keep bringing up the whole clenbuterol thing. It's going to follow Canelo for the rest of his career, obviously. But I think a lot of people don't know that he did the hair follicle test, and it came out that it was a trace amount. And some people are like, what the hell is a guy the stature of Canelo doing supposedly at a taco stand eating tortas? Like, this guy's a multimillionaire. You know, Eddie and Chepo were butchers. You know, they know what's up. Like, how does that even happen? And it's like, bro, you don't know unless you've spent time in Mexico or you grew up in Mexico. Like, going to your like taco shop on the corner is like ingrained in the culture. Like, everybody does it. So it's, to me at least, it's like very plausible that even a guy of his stature goes to a taco shop or something like that. But now that I remember, though, I think he said he had gone to a restaurant, a fancy restaurant, where they went ahead and gave him meat. But it doesn't matter. He did the hair follicle test. If that hair follicle test would have definitively showed that if he was lying or not, and he wasn't, because that hair follicle test is pretty damn freaking accurate. Hit the like button if you like tacos. I'm up. What's up with that? Dan R. There you go. There you go. Hit the like if you like tacos. Dan R. is our dude. All right. Transitioning over to this Mayweather versus Logan Paul fight. Marcus, you already explained that you weren't happy with the fight. I would imagine a lot of you guys on this chat, you guys, you know, our channel's Fight Hub. We're a combat sports channel. We have a focus on boxing. We're, I like to say, pretty damn hardcore boxing fans. We freaking love boxing, all right? We watch all these fights that you would think the soccer moms or the casuals wouldn't watch. This was a fight for the casuals. This was a fight for your soccer mom, for your thoughty little Instagram influencer that was like, oh my God, Floyd and Logan are fighting, you know, who's going to win? You know, when we were there in Miami, I don't know if you noticed, Yair, but when we were at that Cuban sandwich shop, the guys behind you, I want to say 3 tables behind you were at the other restaurant, we're talking about the fight. And they were talking about like, whoa, you know, Logan Paul is so big, and, you know, what's going to happen, da-da-da-da-da. That to me made me realize, like, okay, this, if casual freaking normal people were talking about the fight, it was going to be a big time fight. Overall.
And everywhere we would go, they would ask, oh, what y'all doing here? And we would tell, oh, we're here for the fight. Like, oh, yeah, that Mayweather versus Logan Paul. And you would just hear random people like, you know, I remember I went to the barber shop. Even the barbers were like, oh, yeah, I just want to tune in and see how it's going to go. I'm interested, you know, because Logan is really big. He's very muscular. And I'm like, yeah, well, we'll see what happens, right? They're like, yeah, I think that's what in the career of Mayweather. And this is like, just people wanted to tune in. But I'm telling you, a lot of people tune in. A lot of people were really interested in this fight because they knew how to sell it. They really knew how to sell it. And I told you when this fight happened, I told you, guys, look at the all access. That's what's going to reel you in. And a lot of people watched that all access.
I still didn't see the all access.
Even after you lobbied for it.
Well, maybe that's just 2 of y'all that did not watch it, but a lot of people just tuned in. And again, it was Mayweather. And look, Marcos, look at the people that he brought out. There was rappers, there were celebrities, there was
cool. We were. I didn't know who this was, but who's that rapper that we were seated next to? That was pretty cool.
Yo Gotti.
Yo Gotti. We were seated right next to Yo Gotti. Yeah, and Fat Joe. Fat Joe was in front of us. Broner was in front of us.
Yo Gotti. Is
Yo
that
Gotti was in there.
that's the dude that wears the hats, right?
Okay,
No,
yeah.
I'm thinking of the dude. That's Yo Gabba Gabba. My bad, man.
Yo Gabba.
Yeah,
It's
but,
a cartoon, Yo Gabba Gabba.
No, but
That's a kid's cartoon.
good.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
Hold on.
I want to talk
We
about
gotta
Danny
touch on.
because nobody's also talking about Ochocinco.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
of all,
We gotta touch on
you
Ochocinco
have to
before
give
we get
him.
to Floyd.
You have to give him so much credibility because look what he said. He acted normal. Like on the press conference, he's like, I might lose. I don't know. I don't want to do this again. This is tough. I don't know why people do this. And he's like, and what caught my attention the most is when he said this. He's like, everything I've done in my life, I failed and it's okay. And if I fail, it's not a big deal. Like, I just want to try this out. I want to give this a shot. But Chad looked very good. He looked like you're a normal novice amateur fighter that gets in the ring. He did very well, and he hung in there. Like, and then when we asked him, hey, you're fighting against a bare knuckle fighter. He's 0-4. He has experience. He knows how to move in the ring, and he knew how to move in the ring. Who is Brian Maxwell? Hashtag, right? But I loved watching. That's the most important part that I wanted to see was Ochocinco because he just dared. Because outside of this bubble that we have of the reality of social media, where social media, you see everybody post their perfect life. Ochocinco, a huge star in the NFL, retired NFL player, has done things where he shows us, hey, we're normal. We can fail. It's okay. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's 1 in a million that's going to have a perfect record, that's going to be famous, that's going to be rich. But me, I'm just like everybody else outside. You're going to fail, and it's okay. And the beautiful part is that he got knocked down, and what happened? He got backed up, and he got back up, and that was just the reality that we all see in life. And that's what I feel like. That's, to me, is what really stole the show. I didn't care about, because the main event, we can talk about the main event, but I was more entertained, and I really enjoyed it. If you notice, Marcos, I was sitting down the whole time for that one. After that, I was just back and forth, taking care of work. But after I wanted to see him, I said, and I told you, he looks decent. He doesn't look bad. He had a very good jab. Obviously, landing the 1-2, throwing his right, his power punches was just like, but that's what you expect. And even asking him, I said, Chad, your diet. He's like, just shut up about my diet. I don't want to talk about my diet.
He's like, pissed.
I was like, I'm so pissed. I had to drop so much. I dropped like 20, 30 pounds. Had to be 20 pounds. And he's like, I don't even have seasoning. I didn't even have seasoning on my food. And I said, wow, like he took this seriously. He showed everybody else it's not a joke. Like this is not a joke. And
so that fight made me laugh. And Nestor from the Boxing Voice was laughing at me because when he got knocked down, Brian Maxwell didn't put away. And my first initial thing when he got knocked down and he didn't go after him was this issue is fixed. Why isn't this dude going after him? This shit is so fixed. Yeah. He told him not to go ahead. Yeah, I was yelling. I was like, go get his ass. Go get him. Why is he? And my second thing is like, this is fixed. It's fixed. Why would you not go and try to put him away when you have him hurt like that? He was freaking legit hurt. So I still think there was some sort of weird agreement between them not to knock him out. But I was super impressed by Chad. I was impressed by the way he boxed. He boxed and moved, jabbed and moved. And he, not bad for his first time there because he showed aptitude in the fight. Mm-hmm. He showed, pop the jab, moving. He was evading when Maxwell tried to go ahead and throw big haymakers. He landed some good punches. He took some good punches. And he got knocked down, obviously, in the last round. Mm-hmm. And this was an exhibition. There was no winner. But I had him up in the fight. I had him winning all the rounds until he got knocked down. And then, that's a 2-point round. It would have ended up being a draw, I think, if they would have scored it officially. But I think overall he has nothing to be ashamed about. He went in there and he got the full boxing experience. He went in there, he threw some, and he got some back, and he got knocked down. He got everything you want in a fight. So for him,
he could have gotten somebody that had zero experience.
Oh yeah, he could have gotten a Tijuana cab driver.
Oh yeah, he went to a person that has experience. Even though it's bare knuckle, he knows how to throw a punch. He knows,
which makes me think. I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of a little bit of fishy business there because he should have knocked him out. He should. That guy knows how to fight, and to me, it was just kind of odd, kind of weird. He didn't go after him. He didn't go after him at all. In the round before, in the second round, he went after him because Chad hit him with a good punch, and you could tell he got freaking pissed. Brian Maxwell got freaking pissed. What was that energy that when he had him hurt? Didn't go after him. I don't know. I don't know.
Idol. It was his idol. He kept on saying he looked.
You know what? I thought about that too. I was thinking like maybe he feels bad for him because he's idolized him because at the Undercard press conference, Brian Maxwell had said that he idolized Chad and he grew up, looking up to him. So that did kind of come into my mind also after the fact that I thought, maybe something fishy's going on here. Then I remembered that. He's like, oh, maybe he feels bad for him. Maybe he doesn't want to knock him out because he has a ton of respect for him. I wouldn't try to knock his head off. I wouldn't. I don't care. Yeah, I respect you, but let me get my knockout. You know, let me get that cash.
Get the KO and continue to fight.
Yeah, exactly. Let me show you why some people can do this and some people can't. And this isn't something that you can go in and think you could just magically do.
Yeah, Chad Johnson Ochocinco, excuse me, is a bit of a Ochocinco Johnson. Let me get that correct. Ochocinco Johnson is a bit of a dilettante when it comes to he likes to do little things, and he likes life, man. He just likes to try stuff. I don't really know if we'll see him back in the boxing ring here afterward.
Now he said one and done.
Yeah, I didn't get the feeling watching him fight that that this was something that was really boiling inside of his heart. He just wanted to get
Let me tell you how he answered that. Chad, do you plan on doing this again? No, never again. I am not going to do this again. No, not at all.
He almost got knocked out.
And then we're like, why? He said, this shit's hard, man. Like, this is too hard. The dieting, the preparation, like, it's just hard. And then we asked him again, and he said, is this something you take into consideration? Maybe this goes well. He's like, nope, I'm done. Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm done. I don't want to. And he was nervous. Yeah.
I ain't mad at him.
I have nothing against him. I love him.
All right, let's get to the main event. Obviously, in the build-up to this, I think a lot of us felt, because this was Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest boxers of the last generation, that Logan Paul would have absolutely no freaking chance in there with someone like Floyd. That Floyd would be able to toy with them, that Floyd would be able to just mess him up because it's Floyd Mayweather, and that Floyd would be able to knock him out. I honestly thought Floyd was going to knock him out. I thought he was going to knock him out. I was convinced there's no way a guy like Logan Paul, a YouTuber with only like less than 2-3 years of experience boxing, would be able. No. He's had a few years now. Experience of boxing.
He's 0-1. He's just talking about his record.
0-1, yeah. Would be able to give such a good account of himself. And I think really the real winner from all of this was Logan Paul. Logan Paul went 8 freaking rounds with Floyd Mayweather. I would have lasted like freaking 2 rounds with Floyd. Obviously, I'm not as big as Logan Paul.
Yeah, that's what the difference is.
It is, but Logan Paul, a YouTuber, went freaking 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. Regardless of what you think or not, it is what it is. He went 8 freaking rounds with, by some fans' accounts, is the greatest boxer of all time. A YouTuber. So I'm going to post the question to you guys on the chat. We'll touch on it, but I'll let you know as to why I feel that Floyd could knock him out. To me, it's very, very obvious. But did Floyd take an L, or do you see Floyd taking an L by even allowing Logan to go 8 rounds with him? Did that, to you, did that diminish just, I guess, overall the event or what he's done because he went 8 rounds with a Logan Paul? So, first off, there's these weird videos that have come out saying that Floyd actually knocked out Logan Paul. Bro, me and Yair were there at the fight. We saw the fight ringside. Logan Paul was not knocked out at one bit. I went and I saw the videos. They conveniently stopped the video as soon as he goes in to hug him, because Logan Paul was hugging a hell of a lot in that fight because he was gassed. He was tired. But they conveniently stop. They don't show you what happens 5 seconds after, 10 seconds after from that little clip. So I find that kind of weird that people have run with that and they don't ask themselves, why did they stop the video there? Why don't they keep it going? Because you could tell if a guy's really out on their feet by the way their legs move.
Yeah.
And they conveniently cut that out. You know, a guy who's out on their feet, and I saw this firsthand because Aaron Rodriguez or Aaron Hernandez against Robert the Ghost Guerrero. He hit Guerrero with the hook, and Guerrero went limp. He hit him with another hook, woke him up. It's a very apparent thing when a guy is out on their feet. They go completely limp, like they're a zombie. This dude didn't look like a zombie at all. Yeah. His legs were still back. He was gassed. He was tired. He kept hugging with them. So I saw a lot of videos.
People need to ask themselves, do you think that Floyd Mayweather would have been able to hold this dude? He would have been able to hold him up after landing a shot like that. His momentum was going forward. That 190 pounds limp? No way. He would have went straight to the canvas. He went straight down. This is what you said, the age of breaking down tape and making up our own narratives, man. Like, you know, this was
that's what Leonard Ellerby said. He said the little guy was walking down the big guy, and that's what I saw the entire night. Maybe 2 rounds, I would say that Logan Paul really put it at him. Maybe kind of went in there, but it was like the 3rd or 4th round when you saw Logan Paul like going to the ring, and he's like, like, damn, because that's gonna happen. You're the bigger guy, the smaller guy. Science proves it. So.
Yeah, so it was humid. Obviously, it was that plays a big effect too, you know. And Gilbert says if you were knocked out, you would not wake back up in like 6 seconds. Bro, I've seen it happen. Go look at that Robert Guerrero fight. He's out on his feet from a hook, and another hook wakes him back up. Robert holds him, and he gets his composure back. Like I've seen it with my freaking eyes. Obviously, boxing fans are disappointed that Floyd didn't get a knockout. It's kind of a weird thing, but
I'm not.
Here's the thing: we'll get to you, but to me, yeah, because it's like, bro, this is Floyd Mayweather, right? Like, what the hell? But when I took the fan part out of me and like the pride of like, nah, boxing, you can't besmirch boxing. This is the best of what we have, and when you take all that out and you really look at what it is the weight. It's the weight. You saw a welterweight who's now a junior middleweight go up against pretty much a heavyweight in that fight. You know, Floyd weighed 155 at the weigh-in on Friday. He didn't rehydrate. That's his weight. That's his natural freaking weight. Logan Paul weighed in, I believe, 189.5 the day of the weigh-in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they did any sort of rehydration clause. If they did, they didn't publicize it. I doubt it.
Right.
If he cut down to 189, you look at Logan's not a small guy. He's a big freaking dude, man. And props to him, man. He the boy's in shape. And he showed it in the fight, too. He showed it in the fight. Yeah, he was getting tired, but he lasted 8 rounds. Dude trained his butt off. And you could tell. But he damn near had to have weighed 205 pounds, 200 pounds. You know, whenever you weight cut, you rehydrate to 10, 15 pounds. Yeah. You know, that anything above 205 is a heavyweight. So it was a junior middleweight against a heavyweight. Mm-hmm. All right. Obviously, in anything in life, the bigger guy is going to be able to take anything a littler guy throws at him a little bit better than a guy the same size. I wrestled. It was a lot harder for me to wrestle big guys than guys my size or littler because they're bigger than me. They're more stronger than me. Mm-hmm. You know, same thing with punches. You take a punch from a guy who's 155. You have 40 more pounds on that guy. Yeah, you're going to be able to take those punches a little bit better.
Yep.
The other thing, I think the one thing, probably the most important thing, well, weight's pretty damn important, but I think this is another important thing that people don't realize. Floyd is not a knockout puncher. He wasn't a knockout puncher at welterweight. So you expect him suddenly overnight to be a knockout puncher against a heavyweight? You know, his style is a counterpuncher. And I think from like the 3rd round on, he attempted and he did walk down Logan Paul. Mm-hmm. But when you have a guy that big and that rangy, dude, I not laugh, but I got kind of a chuckle because because he was so lanky, and like I was looking at it and I felt like I was watching an episode of Dragon Ball Z. Like the guys, just because the physique, because Logan was so much bigger, and you could tell Floyd was having trouble with distance. Those punches that usually land on people his normal stature, his normal weight, weren't landing on him because this dude is so much taller and so much longer than him. You know, so there was a lot of freaking factors in this fight, but I think, you know, length as well.
That counter,
a huge role in Floyd be able to cut the distance and land the punches that he was trying to land. And, you know, being there ringside, to me, it was very apparent that there was points in the fight that Floyd really was trying to knock him out and hurt him. Like, I don't know if it came off that way on TV, but being there ringside live, you could tell that there was points in the fight where he legitly was trying to go after him, trying to hit him, but Logan trained his butt off. And I think people, it's hard for us to accept this because these guys are outsiders. These guys come from YouTube, coming in and having these high-profile fights, and at the end of the day, it's because they're YouTubers. But I think it's time that we give the Paul brothers their respects, their dues, and stop giving them so much ish because they are putting in the work. For him to have a performance like that, to go 8 rounds with Floyd, look decent, which he did, I was entertained, and I thought Logan gave the best account of himself. In order for him to come like that, he put in a lot of freaking work. But at the end of the day, too, we can't forget. And Floyd said this before the fight, and he said this after the fight. He's getting old. Floyd's getting old. This isn't the Floyd Mayweather of 2015, of 2016. Floyd's aging. He's aging.
Grandpa Floyd, homie.
He's admitted. You know, even in that fight, you could tell. And you know, obviously, he didn't fight. Floyd, when we talked to Leonard Ellaby after the fight, he told us that Floyd only went in like 2-3 times a week in the gym to go ahead and train.
He trained one day, off a couple days. Train one day, off a couple days.
Leonard told us he trained like 2-3 times a week, but it wasn't the same as like being in fight shape. You know,
he wasn't running that much usually.
No. Yeah, the timing wasn't there. The rhythm wasn't there. Like, you could tell all those things play a role, but at the end of the day, this isn't the same Floyd that we're used to. And I know us as fight fans, we like to keep that romanticized version of our favorite fighters and hope that they could grasp it for one more fight and we could see something like that, see a glimpse of what made them great for one more time. But Floyd's not that anymore, or at least he's not that with the type of preparation that he had. And he said after the fight, I'm old. It's not the same Floyd. And for us to expect him to go and just knock out a guy who's 40 pounds older than him, given all these other factors, kind of foolish of us. It was foolish of me to think that. I should have not thought with my heart and thought more with my head with this fight. Or not even fight, this exhibition.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather that's really training and is in the gym with hard work and dedication at the speed bag drinking orange soda would have beat the hell out of Logan Paul. A guy that was really training. No, a real Floyd Mayweather Jr. that was really training
but the
hard.
I think he would have done better, but the weight still kind of makes me think like, you know,
my guy, because he would have been. One thing, look, this go back. Okay, now we got some things that we misinterpreting what we really watch now. We tripping just a little bit. This is 2-day-a-week Floyd, where before Floyd wasn't missing any days in camp at all, and he was training 3 or 4 times in one day. Let's not forget that. Running his miles, getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, going in and having full workout sessions. This was not that. This is, like he said, I was out there for my kids' graduation. I was enjoying my family and my grandkids. I came to do this. This is an exhibition. This is truly an exhibition. This is the quintessential. This is the essence of an exhibition. It's to put on a show. It's to be out there to get hit a little bit, to do a little something. Nobody's supposed to get knocked out in an exhibition. Nobody's supposed to get they noggin knocked off in the exhibition. Everybody's supposed to be.
He was trying to take his head off, bro.
I
have
think
bad
at times,
intentions
I
on
think
him.
It was like around the fourth, fifth
you know.
round that he kind of figured him out. And there was one where Floyd kept on coming down, and he came lunging with the right. And that would always work. Remember me that highlight versus Marquez, when Marquez would land something, and then Floyd Mayweather pop back and hit him with the right. He tried to do that to Logan, and it did not work because Logan already kind of followed everything he was doing. But it was because that step. And I was telling some people that were next to me, was like, hey, that's Grandpa Floyd. I said, that's not him, because if this would have been 7 days a week, eating cheeseburgers, Floyd, training 3 times a day, he would have landed that punch no matter what, even though he was.
That's what I'm saying. He would have been more sharp.
Yeah, so this is a clear exhibition.
There you go. He would have been more precise. And
absolutely.
I think he would have ended up stopping him maybe to the body, but he still, I think, would have had trouble because the guy is just so damn big and he's so long.
Brent Boyer, I don't agree with that. I think he would have not knocked him out. I think he would have kind of made him quit. That's
now,
why.
If it would have went 12 rounds,
I think he would have folded.
Yeah. I think so too.
I think Logan would have been done. Logan probably would have been done by 10 or maybe latest 11.
Yeah, he'd been throwing up like Larry Holmes versus Holyfield.
Floyd won, but took an L for not finishing a fake fighter. You can't say he's a fake fighter anymore, bro. Like, as much as like it's weird to say, like, nah, dude, he won 8 rounds with Floyd, bro. Like, he did better than Tension. And Tension, like, I have the highest regard for Tension. Tension is a freaking monster, dude. This guy's a killer. Like, he's still undefeated in his sport in kickboxing, just murking mofos left and right. Like, that guy's still a killer. And Floyd just toyed with him. Yeah, I understand the size, but it wasn't as big of a disparity between Floyd and Logan. And, you know, Jake's fighting Tyron. Like, that's a dangerous fight. That's, even though a lot of people feel that Jake's going to knock Tyron out because Tyron's a lot older and he's off of 4 losses and he's not a boxer, but that's still a dangerous fight. You can't, like, you got to give these guys credit now. You know, like, they're stepping up their competition. It's not like they're fighting, you know, YouTubers and basketball players anymore. Like, they're fighting legit competition now. Like, yeah, they're a little older, but these little older guys have decades of experience over them, and they're fighting. So it's a hard thing to admit, but you got to respect them. You got to respect them. They're fighters now. They're fighters. As much as we don't admit, they're fighters. They're putting in the work. Not one of us could have lasted 8 rounds with Floyd, bro. None of us. As much pride and ego that we have, not even you, Yair. I'm sorry. None of us. None of us would have lasted 8 rounds with
Yair, homie.
You know, but hey, Yair,
to be honest,
look at that hat. Yair is really living out the gotcha hat. That Floyd that Yair has. I mean, that hat that Yair has. That's Floyd's hat. Yair somehow got a hold of Floyd Mayweather's hat that he was wearing at the post-fight press conference. No cap, homie. That's Floyd's hat. Go back and look at the press conference.
Even smells like money.
It even smells like money.
I
was wondering if you was gonna say something like that, man. It smelled like you did. You didn't waste no doggone time. But you know what, man? I think that there's something that we're maybe overlooking, man. I think that the polls are good for boxing in the fight game because he puts a hole in the promoters and these networks' pockets. They really do. They put a hole in these networks' pockets, man, because all the jibe that they were pulling, I think that the comments that they're making are going to, the comments that these guys were making at the UFC, like, look, Float Logic says it right here. The polls are great. They're deserving of the envy their purses undoubtedly will create. The death of the promoter / network-driven power broker is among us. Fight fans rejoice. Take what you take, gentlemen.
Look, I love that. And at first I couldn't agree.
Too, bro.
I couldn't agree what Jake and Logan were doing. I was so against it at first. But once I started following that trend, honestly, even though you might think they're bad for boxing, they're actually
good for boxing, bro.
They're good for boxing, and they even might be better for UFC because what did Jake say to Dana White? He's like, why isn't Francis Ngannou getting paid with John Jones? Why aren't they getting paid $10 million or more?
Hello.
They deserve that money. Where's that other money going to? And then you know what Francis Ngannou said? He said, and he put it on his Twitter. He tweeted, I don't know if you saw it, Marcos. He said, a YouTuber with no experience just got paid $10 million for an exhibition, but John Jones and me can't get that fight. And if we do, we're going to get paid maybe 1 million. He's like, there is something wrong here.
Well, yeah, there's something wrong,
all that is opening up, and it's gonna come quicker and quicker.
Absolutely.
No.
I don't know if it's gonna make a difference for the UFC.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's opening that window. Like, really, who deserves this money? But then again, it goes back.
But look, but no. But boxers have always made more than MMA fighters in general in the main event. So
it's been longer. It's been longer. It's been longer. It's
been long enough. It's been long enough.
It's been longer than UFC. But that comparison that Francis Ngannou said, he said, how is it that the biggest fight in heavyweight and UFC, we can't get paid this amount, and a YouTuber with no experience gets more money? Like, that makes you reevaluate your life, your career, your amateur pedigree.
Well, it's going to piss you off. But I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because Jake Paul is more well known. He drives the needle more than these guys. You know, that's like if a celebrity, if Tom Cruise were to have a match with freaking, I don't know, some Joe Schmo boxer, he's gonna make hundreds of millions of dollars because it's Tom freaking Cruise. Like, these guys have big social media followings. Of course they're gonna make more money than Francis Ngannou. Ngannou's popular, but these guys are on a different level because of their social media following. And the thing with YouTube social media followings, especially YouTube followings, the fan bases on YouTube, they really get invested in their guy. And it's all about engagement. That's the most important thing with social media. Engagement.
I agree.
And these guys' fans are more engaged than any other freaking fighter, any other MMA fighter. He has a bigger, more engaged fan base than a Francis Ngannou in the United States because they go crazy for him in Africa and in Cameroon. But all these fights are happening here in the U.S.
So you're telling me that John Jones cannot have a good reputation or a good following here in America?
No, because he's not very friendly.
So you're telling me that? You're telling me that these fighters,
John Jones has done a lot of dumb stuff.
He has.
This is a $10 million fight. Let's not say the game.
Anything you're saying,
for sure it is. But the UFC has a business model that they don't want to deviate from. That's their business model, you know.
And I feel like once they do, that's gonna open the window for
but they've been knowing this in that sport for the longest time, and nothing's happened. Why has nothing happened? Because they agreed to the contracts. If they go ahead and try to take that fight somewhere else, they could probably get that money. And I don't know why they don't go ahead and do that. Why doesn't
he won't release them?
Exactly. But even after the release, they're on their contract. But say, you know, they do get into a situation like that, I would think that would be the way. But that's how their nature of the business is. Dana White, I think he said on interviews that the boxing model is not sustainable at all. And the model that he has in the UFC is sustainable. If you agree with that, disagree with that.
How long has UFC been around, and how long has boxing been around? What is he talking about?
Boxing's been around like 100 and something freaking years.
So I'm talking about the big paydays have been around for quite a while too. Guys are making more money. I think that we'll find out, because his thing that he's been talking about with boxing has been the best aren't fighting the best and yada yada. Clearly coming up on the horizon, he's having his own Spence Crawford moment with Ngannou and Jones.
Nah, that fight will happen. That fight will happen. And you know what? He's right.
It's going to happen.
The money's going to be interesting.
It's just that the pay. And this is why UFC fighters kind of like Jake Paul, because he says, Dana, why isn't your people getting paid? Why am I getting paid more? Like that, just the questioning, the observation that he does is just what I like the most about Jake. That's all I'm saying. And I certainly agree. Boxing has been longer more. I agree. But I mean, you can't go against what Jake's doing.
Imagine Terrence Crawford with Jake Paul's backing.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that would be crazy. But, hopefully that fight goes ahead and happens. But I think, to me,
they deserve to get big money for that fight.
No, of course.
They deserve big money for that fight. That's what Jake is saying.
They'll end up getting big money, dude.
They should.
They'll end, because to Dana's credit, in his league, in MMA, the best fight the best. And that's why MMA at this point is a more popular sport than boxing, because the best actually fight the best in that sport. And in boxing, the best sometimes fight the best. And when they do fight the best, it's like 5 years from when they're supposed to fight the best. Go figure.
Hey, Ngannou and Jones better fight then. That's all I got to say, doggy. Ngannou and Jones better fight. But you know what? If you want to, when we're talking about old exhibition fights, if anybody likes boxing and you want to go back, man, and watch a hellified exhibition from back in the day, I challenge you, bro, to go back and watch Muhammad Ali versus Lyle Alzado and grab a beer and a burrito and watch that shit, man. It's incredible.
Beer and a burrito.
Beer and a burrito, dog. Watch that. Watch Lyle Alzado.
Have to be a burrito.
Fire off on Muhammad Ali the way he did, man. It was incredible.
What's up to Cassandra? Leaving us a comment here. UFC would never have two of the best in the weight class allowed to BS and avoid each other for years. Yeah, that's why people watch the UFC, because UFC, you got no choice to fight the number one, the number two right after. You know, in boxing, oh God, you know, boxing's like, no, I'm gonna fight the number 8 guy. I'm going to fight the number 10 guy. UFC, it's like, nah, whether you like it or not, you're fighting this dude, you know? Obviously, yeah, it's one company, and they control everything. But I think overall, like, for sports, you want to consistently have the best play against the best, or the fighters fight the best fighters. And boxing, for such a long time, we don't get that, because there's not one single league or organization to go ahead and do that. Or you get into a situation where you have someone like a Crawford, who's like a 1A, 1B with Spence at welterweight, and PBC's already exhausted all their options because they've already made all their welterweights fight each other. And you have this guy here that you know is better than all those other guys, but you don't know if he's better than Errol Spence, and we want to see them fight, and we haven't got it. So, you know,
bro. Before we go, man, because I know we're getting ready to cut out, but I just want to tell the fans out there, bro. This is Fight Hub TV, right? And I know you guys don't usually hear me talk about UFC fights at all, bro. But go back, man, and look at. There's a rematch coming up this weekend. And it's Figueroa, I think his name is, versus this Mexican fighter named Moreno, bro. They had an unbelievable fight a couple months ago. You got to go back and watch the first fight. They're fighting again on the 12th. This Moreno and Figueroa, that was the best MMA fight I've ever seen in my whole life, dog. I see Canelo on there says it. Go back and watch it again, man. Moreno, yeah, Javis Biggie was what he's saying. Biggle. Go back and watch this fight, man, and just enjoy it, man. There's a lot of good stuff going on. I've been paying attention a little bit more to MMA, and, bro, you got to go back and watch that, man, because it's a great bout.
I'd never seen that fight. It's so hard to freaking be able to see MMA fights now, because they control everything. Like, you got to subscribe to the Fight Pass. You can still find UFC fights on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. You can go back and YouTube it. It's been playing.
Send me that link.
It's on the UFC fight, the free fight stuff right now. It's all over.
Okay.
Bro, you gotta go back and watch this fight. If I don't ever talk about UFC ever, because I'm a hardcore boxing fan. This fight right here, there it is right there. The Sportsanista. Go back and watch this fight again, bro. This fight was amazing, man. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm ordering the card only to watch that fight. Don't even know who's in the main. Damn,
so that fight was so good that you're ordering the whatever they're having this weekend. Because
my guy, he says it's Figueroa, whatever that is. Okay, Figueroa. All right, go back and watch Figueroa versus Moreno. Figueroa, great fight. I know, Hank. I know you don't like it, Hank, but just it's some good scrapping, my guy. You won't fall asleep. I'm telling you.
So you got the UFC card happening this weekend. Also, you have Shakur Stevenson returning to the ring on ESPN as well. And then the week after that, we got a huge boxing weekend on the 19th as well. There's like 6 boxing fights that day with that. But with that being said, man, we said our pieces on what we thought about Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. I have a new respect for Floyd, for Logan. And you know what? Each time Logan Paul has fought, I've been pleasantly surprised with the fight that he's had, and I've been entertained. With this fight with KSI, I had low expectations. I didn't think it was going to be a good fight. I thought it was going to be a farce. I thought it was going to be sucked. I questioned as to why I was here covering this fight in LA. After they fought, I thought, oh crap. I actually enjoyed that fight. I was actually entertained. They put it all on the line. They actually went ahead and fought each other. This fight here, it was hard for me to get into because it's Floyd. And I thought, Floyd's going to just freaking work this guy. Like, it's Floyd freaking Mayweather. I was surprised. And you know what? Before you get to your point, Marcus, every time I've seen Logan and doubted if it was a good fight for him to be in, he's proved me wrong. And he proved me wrong again this weekend. Dude's a real fighter. Dude's put in the work. Work showed off. It's time that, whether you like it or not, swallow your pride. Who cares about all the other stuff that he did before? He's putting in that work, and it showed on Saturday. And he needs to be respected for that. Go ahead, Marcus.
You know what, man? Yeah, I do think that both brothers need to be respected. I think that we don't need to take it to the brain and act like these guys are going to be holding the red belt, the green belt, and the black belts. You know what I'm saying? But I think that their bravery and their marketing, you know what I mean, is something that it's a cool thing. I think, and that's just it. It opens up exhibitions for all other dudes, rappers. You know what I mean? Imagine there being like rappers that have a fight. It would be a big sell too. It's coming.
It would be a huge sell. Mm-hmm. But this is the only problem with this. I think it's kind of opening up a Pandora's box. Because at some point, we might get in a situation where there's someone in there that didn't train, didn't put in the work. Mm-hmm. They get knocked the F out, and something bad happens.
That's
Nate Robinson. No. Something worse than that.
Night, Nate Rob.
No. I'm not talking about just knockout. Like something worse to that. Worse than that.
Let's hope that it doesn't. The thing about boxing that's good.
But here's the thing, though, because these guys are YouTubers and they're not looking at Jake and Logan actually are training really, really hard, putting in the work, and sparring actual pro fighters to get ready for their fights. These guys are coming in with this false sense that they can do it too, not knowing the work the brothers put in, and it could lead to something like that. I hope we don't get to that, but it could lead to something, and that's something from the very beginning I've always had in the back of my mind. Like this weekend, we have this event that's going on, YouTubers versus TikTokers, this weekend in Miami. Seeing some of these guys train, I'm just kind of like, a lot of people are going to get knocked out. We have, I saw something up here, Lamar Odom, I think it has a celebrity fight or something like that also happening soon as well. Lamar Odom versus Aaron Carter. Isn't Aaron Carter was like a Backstreet Boy, wasn't he?
Ain't he a singer?
He had his own thing, his own music thing.
That's brutal.
Okay, so he was, one of these things.
Hilarious.
Are you covering it? Lamar Odom versus Aaron Carter? No, I will not be covering that event.
Marcos and Yair are covering that together, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? We're all in. We're all in for Lamar Odom versus Aaron Carter. We're all in. But all right, guys, got to wrap up. Thank you so much for joining in with us. Let's get one last round of likes. Obviously, we couldn't do the live chat yesterday because we were all traveling, and we went ahead and did it today. But next week, we'll be back to our normally scheduled program. Monday, 5:35 Pacific time. Go ahead and tune in. We'll go ahead and preview the fights that are happening that weekend, and we'll find, a ton of stuff to go ahead and talk about too. So for Yair and Marcus Hayes, I'm Marcus Villegas. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share and like. and join us next week.
And Marcos.
Thank you, guys.
Got your hat.
Yeah,
Real quick,
I
y'all
hear.
asked me. Real quick, y'all asked me. I'm gonna say, man, I'm going with Moreno for the Moreno Figueroa fight. I'm going with Moreno, doggy.
Going with Moreno. All right, with the UFC.
No doubt.
Marcos versus the Schmo. That would be pretty funny.
This is the Schmo. This is the pro, the one and only. Who's gonna fight Marcos Villegas in Las Vegas?
I like the Schmo. I like
that.
Dave. I like Dave. I like him as a person.
He's
Dave.
cool.
Dave as a person is a cool guy. He's trying to fight Ariel. He's been trying to fight Ariel. I don't know. I like the guy. I tend to not want to fight people I like. I like the
There's
Schmo.
money there, man.
Hey, if it's the right offer, hey, you know, I guess I'd have to think about it. But I doubt he does a boxing match. He'd probably want to do like an MMA match because he's an MMA guy. But whatever. It is what it is. All right, guys.
I don't know who Brian Maxwell is, but I fight him, bro. No problem.
Brian Maxwell's the bare knuckle guy that fought Chad Johnson.
Oh, I would blast him out, bro. He's
All
gone.
right, guys, we gotta go. We gotta go. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. See you next Monday at 5:35. Peace out, guys. Take it easy. He can box though. Even better. Let's make it happen then. If it's the right.
Let's make it happen, baby.
If it's the right amount of money. If not, then nah. You know, because I like him. I don't like punching people. All right, take it easy, guys.